Okay. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Or evening or something.
Something so weird. I've been I've been thinking a lot about your well, first there's Jurassic Park, and Jeff Goldblum's character says, your scientists were so busy thinking about whether they could, they never thought to ask if they should. And I think about that a lot of late, because you helped me. I prompted you, like you're an AI assistant. Build
We did something a bit weird, yeah.
an abomination, and I love it so much.
So weird that the creator of JBang said that
Right.
we were doing it. It was weird, but it worked. He seemed happy.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. I love it. Anyway, it's getting better. I mean that the fact that is workable is just chef's kiss. Perfect. That is to say, can we show them that quickly?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
yeah. Have you tried the new version?
No. Can you walk me? I mean, I've got the code. So for people who don't know, Java 25 they've got naked main methods, right? So main methods that have no class around them, like me. And so
let's see. That joke is going to get a lot of use. I can see that.
Oh yeah. And so github.com, and I have a whole Git repository. You don't need any of it. You just need one file, and literally one file. You can't see my screen, can you? That's really
not yet. No.
Oh, that's so awkward. Okay, I gotta hide 5 million things here. Hold on, let me. I've got nonsense. That's fun nonsense.
Let's see how you've been wasting your time.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Discord. I've been checking the weather because it's very cold. It's like 50 Fahrenheit, 50 freedom units here.
Really?
Yeah. And that was today during the day. It was like 60 at most. And
San Francisco in the summer for you.
Yeah, of course. Typical. So let's see here. I'm closing. God, I've got so much stuff. Do you use Z, by the by?
Z.
Not the letter, the text editor.
No.
Oh, it's so good. It's like this Rust. It's like a text editor written in Rust. It's super fast. It supports Vim motion, so I've been getting mileage.
I see.
Okay.
Building your VI muscles.
Yeah, it's not going well, mind you, but I am trying. I suppose I'll get further than I don't know. I thought I would have quit by now, but the peer pressure is too strong. Okay.
You've been hanging around with James Ward too much.
Yeah, well, I don't think is he one of those?
He's a VI guy, isn't he?
I didn't know that. Not. Oh, okay.
I'm sure I've seen him doing it.
It's a cult. But so is this. So this is JavaScript. Okay, this is we're gonna take that term back.
Yeah, man the barricades.
Script.java. Okay, so basically chmod ax script.java. Here's the script, right? If you z script.java, I just used NeoVim just to edit the file, and I could have shown it to you there. Okay, so basically, there's a shebang line. That's the line that Unix uses to determine what binary to use to then run the program contents within, right? Okay, fine. We're using jbang.dev. That's a tool you can use that allows you to script things. And behind the scenes, it does some pretty crazy things. But for now, all you got to know is that you can tell it, I want to download some source code. I want to use preview features. I want this group ID, artifact ID, and then optionally a version ID to be there. And I want to use Java 25. And then it's just source code, and it'll run whatever. And it'll even compile other source code nearby, like in the same package, whatever. So with the good Dr. Syer's help here, we have, well, this is the old version. So what's the delta? I guess.
Yeah. So you need the version there, 353, and you need HTTPS. Instead of, it's not sources, it's a deps now. So you need deps, HTTPS.
Really?
GitHub.com.
Like that?
/script. Scratches first. Scratches is the org, and then it's spring -script.
/ or just
Yeah, like that. Spring. Yeah, with Spring minus script. So that's it's just like 3 files in a Maven project.
Okay. Do I need a? This is fully
It should be fine because it's in the default package. Yeah.
So.
That's an evil thing to do. I felt a bit dirty doing that, but
what's happening? Oh, okay. Port is already used. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's
so
fine.
that's not my fault.
No, that's fine. Okay, so well, actually, wait. So this is just Spring Boot after all. So server port equals 80.
That's something else. All right.
8, 9, whatever. Okay, and then script.
Yeah, that should work.
Boom. There you go. Port. We have a web server. Localhost. What do we call it? I think we
8089.
Oh, right. And what's it called though? Localhost 8089 high. Yes. Right. That's a JavaScript. It's the only approved JavaScript. So you got component scanning. You've got a controller. You've got a component. You've got a standalone bean definition. Like in theory, I could define a bean, annotate it with that component, and then inject it just like regular Spring. This is optional. Like
you don't need the args, yeah, right?
Yeah, if you're not using them, you don't pay for them, right?
That's a Java feature. That's nothing to do with us,
right? Just really, like phenomenal. Like this is so cool. And so the thing that we are wondering about is if I do this, if I open up script.java, and I've got all that, does that still run? Oh, because there's a feature here, JBang, sync JBang depths to module. I don't know if that's going to go well, but oh, did it work? Probably not. I should probably have just closed everything first. There we go. Okay, so idea, this one. Oh man. So IntelliJ doesn't natively understand JDEPS's coordinate format, but that's okay. There's a plugin, and I can, let's see, sync depths to module.
Yeah, it's just a similar flow for VS Code. It works in VS Code without the stupid jar hack that.
And I don't even need to do that this time. This works now.
Yeah.
So there it is.
Because
I can now edit this.
Dependency. Yeah.
It's just another dependency, and I can edit it like I can just do whatever. I mean, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen. So if I run that, there you go. So stupid. So anyway, I think it's time to move back the Spring initializer to a giant script form.
Yeah.
It's been a long
let's do that.
Is this
start banging that drum?
This is phenomenal. I can't believe this works. This is actually really useful. I mean, I can imagine there's a lot of things I want to do that are like a little more than a command line runner, but to have a whole source main Java and a project and all that stuff, just to do that when I just really want this plus some of the other stuff in Spring, like a declarative interface client plus this plus some data processing,
Yeah. It's almost easy to remember with all that preview stuff. But I mean, the fact that the IDE helps you is really good. So
and this will go. The Java 25 and the preview stuff will go away in September, or September when Java 25 comes out. Then you won't need the preview, and it'll just be
you won't need the preview. It's probably better to still put Java 25 because you need that for the implicit class, right?
And JBang actually downloads the Java version that you want for you, right? I'm using Java 25 beta.
Yeah. If you put Java 24, it would download that as well.
Boom. That is. Oh, okay. Whatever. Anyway, amazing. So this is something I've always wondered about because with your like incredible sort of cooperation and what's the right word? You didn't run away screaming. With that incredible.
Well, I knew a bit about JBang already because I've kind of been looking at it as a potential replacement for the Spring CLI.
Nice.
Which was my kind of little baby that died.
Oh. Well.
It just got too hard to maintain, and Max does a really great job with JBang. So
yeah,
let's use it.
Big fan. Okay, And so okay, that's the first thing. So I've been thinking about that in equal parts, like gratitude and also like shaking my fist at the abomination you've loosed onto the planet. It's just wrong.
There's a nicer one. Do you want to see something nice with JBang?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
before we move on, if you open up your command line again.
Okay. Wait, do you want to show? Okay, you can show. You gotta.
No, I want you to do it. I'll just dictate because it's only like a
Okay.
line on the command line. Open up your terminal.
Open
just
up.
do JBang space config server at scratches, or is it just config? Hang on, I'll need to check the coordinates.
No, wait, it's been to this Spring Cloud config server?
Yeah. Config server, yeah. Oh, it's all one word, sorry. At scratches. They use an at for the GitHub.
Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah, you have to trust it.
So trust once, trust limited, trust organization, URL and future. Yes, 3. Very, very intuitive, this JBang. Okay.
There you go, config server.
And I can just specify the Spring Git URI property, Spring Cloud config Git URI property as an environment variable, and so report, and I'm done.
Yeah. Or you could put an application.yaml in the current directory. These all the usual options. Yeah.
Oh God, that's. Well, I mean, okay, but okay, yes, that's so cool. But also, I mean, with the abomination that we just looked at, couldn't you just code one of those too in like 5 minutes?
I mean, but you don't need to if you can run it in one line anyway.
True, very true. This is a script. You've just created a Spring Cloud config server. Oh, so good. Does that work for Eureka and all that stuff? I mean, do you have? Like,
I didn't put those in the demo, but yeah, potentially it's kind of a replacement for that Spring Cloud CLI that I used to like.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things now. I mean, and we have the Spring
auth server.
Yeah, auth server. Oh, that's a big one. Big one. Eureka. We don't have the Hystrix dashboard anymore, do we?
No.
No. We could also always spin up Zipkin. That's another one that's like.
No, I've done that actually. If I'm messing around with metrics, I often put Zipkin up, and it's easy to do with JBang.
Is it just Zipkin at scratches?
Somebody's got it somewhere. No, I didn't put it there. Somebody's got one of those already.
Okay, well, that's super good, right? I mean, I would love to see more of those. That's cool. I didn't download that. I've never installed it. I just did JBang space. It's like running a Docker.
You do have to install JBang, but it's just a script, right? I mean, it's like it's 1,000-line script, or maybe 5,000 lines. I don't know, but it's just a script. It's just a shell script.
It's a really, really good one too. Okay, so that's cool. I really
anyway, that wasn't the reason we decided to meet.
But well, yeah, so, you know, one of the problems, it's kind of important because if I was working in a protocol or a technology or a language or whatever that required code generation, then what we just did with JBang would not be particularly fun. So the question then is, you know, what's that life cycle look like? How do I build, say, I don't know, gRPC
quickly? Yeah.
With gRPC, for example, like, so do you have anything you want to tell us?
Yeah, so that's kind of the starting point, the use case that you mentioned. So you opened a GitHub issue in the gRPC tracker.
Yeah, just like
Spring
a minute ago.
gRPC.
Right. Which is now
asking for, can we please look at the proto files and just
align.
Without doing code generation, can I write some gRPC servers?
Yeah.
And I thought, it's definitely possible, because the gRPC Java library from Google has a lot of, all the stuff is there basically at a very low level. You can program anything you want. So let me show you a few things. Can I just take the screen?
Sure, please. And while you're talking, I'll remind people, Spring gRPC it's graduated to an official project. Congratulations. It's not experimental, is I guess the right word. Do we have any timelines on GA 1.0 or anything like that?
We're going to have a 0.9 this week, probably. Entire screen. I'm just working out which screen to share. And 1.0 is kind of locked in for Spring Boot 4. So Spring Boot is going to take all the gRPC features that are Spring Boot related, and we'll leave the rest in Spring gRPC. So there's a core that we'll have a 1.0 release of, and then everything else will go into Spring Boot.
Oh, and that's 4.0, which comes out in November. So
4.0 is out in November. Yeah.
Yeah, gonna be.
That work hasn't been done, so it's not completely nailed on, but it's we've had some commitments from relevant people.
And Spring gRPC is, I mean, just despite the fact that it's not 1.0, it is remarkably production worthy. You've already got full security support, including OAuth. You've got observability. You've got the ease of integration into component model. You can inject stubs to easily call other services. I mean, just a brilliant project. We've looked at it before.
Yeah.
Channel.
Yeah. And so there are a couple of things that people have asked for that you can't do with the current implementation, and so I'm going to show you something.
One of them is the thing.
One of them is nearly what you asked for. I say you'll see when we get there. The one I'll show you first is actually maybe the best thing to do is to start with this. It's just a this is the same demo that we have in the rest of the project. It's just a normal hello.proto. It has a simple service which can say hello, or it can do it in a stream. And then I implement that. So this is using code generation, using all the usual stuff.
So when you say that, for people who don't know, you go to start.spring.io, you choose gRPC. I chose Maven. You can choose whatever you want. Hit enter. It'll give you a pom.xml full of plugins, which will then scout the source main, just source proto, I guess, or is it source main?
Yeah, it does this thing here.
Yeah, and it's source main proto, and it's gonna expect you to put a bunch of schema definitions in there. So far, so good. But then you have to run the plugin to transpile whatever you've put into that schema file into Java code, which you then extend in your code. And it's very...
So that is coming out here. There is a load of generated code there. And one of those things that was generated was a base class, which I'm now implementing as a Spring Bean.
And you need to add that.
So this is just a normal Spring gRPC workflow, right?
Today, yeah.
But I haven't got auto configuration for this, so this application's a little bit ugly. It's got 3 beans.
Okay, well, I think we'll live.
Which I can auto configure, right? So one of them is an embedded gRPC server. So that's something that gRPC Java expects to exist, and it deals in the currency of bindable service. And the thing that I just created there, that gRPC server service, is a bindable service. So I'm just injecting those and registering them, and then starting the server. And this thing is this is prototype, right? This is something I wrote.
What is the wait? So this is a serve. What is a bindable service?
Bindable service is what you get when you create one of these things.
Oh, okay. It's a wrapper around it, sort of.
It's an abstract base class in gRPC Java. And it's one of the things that so they generate a base class extension, and then you have to extend it yourself. It's like twice removed from bindable service, but that's what that thing is. You didn't have to know that, right? When you're using Spring gRPC, you just and you don't when you're using this. It's just that I'm explaining how it's working.
Right.
So this is very similar to the way the normal Spring gRPC works, but this embedded gRPC server doesn't start netty on port 9090, right? It's just sitting there in the JVM, and it's going to let me write a webflux router function, which will coordinate. Will coordinate with. Where did that go? We'll coordinate with that server. Okay, so there's the server bean. Here I am injecting it into a router function, and the router function is just post from each path to its handler, and that's it. And so basically, and then I need a codecs. I need a decoder and an encoder for the webflux stack.
My brain is not.
So if you haven't figured out what's going to happen yet, In summary, what I'm doing is I'm putting a Webflux app up that will serve my gRPC service. Right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
But what about can you go back to the router function business?
Uh-huh.
You've got the builder for router functions, which you would normally you just call the static. Okay, you're just calling the static thing. I've never actually realized what router functions builder was there. I didn't realize that was the return value of that thing. And then you're getting the embedded server handlers, which have keys that are their paths, I guess.
Yeah, and that's just a feature of this thing that I defined.
Oh, okay. And you're setting the path of the HTTP endpoint to the path of the same path as
it's the path of the gRPC service. Yeah.
Okay.
So gRPC is a post over HTTP2. So I did the one thing I have to do to make this work properly is server HTTP2 enabled. So it's Webflux, but it has to also be HTTP2.
So everything is over. Okay, it's just like SOAP, except way faster, and it uses 2 instead of 1.
Yeah, I guess you could see it that way. It has a contract. There's the contract.
Yeah. WSDL. Here we go.
Everything. Yeah. So if I run it, fingers crossed, it'll work.
This is so cool already. This is new.
Here we go. I don't know why it was so slow. So that's just it's Netty starting, but it's Webflux. It's not the gRPC Google one.
Wow.
And so basically, if you had a Spring gRPC project now, you could just remove the gRPC starter and put the Webflux starter in, and it would just work with this library as well.
Okay. Wow.
So that was something that somebody else asked for on Webflux. I think it was Maki-san actually.
Yeah, our friend Toshiaki Maki in Japan, our buddy. Yeah. They're amazing.
And so some people at least will be happy to see this. I don't know.
I am.
Yeah. It's something that I'm not ready to publish it yet. It took me a few goes, but
hey Dave,
it does work.
Just for the other people, not me, but what's the difference? What am I missing?
Difference between
this and the default behavior already.
Well, the behavior is the same. It's just that I'm sitting on top of a Webflux. I'm in a Webflux application, so listening on the same port. So I could add another REST controller or another.
Oh, that's okay. You're talking. So this is specifically because right now with Tomcat, it already does something.
It's like the Tomcat version that we already support. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
So you get, your Spring Security Webflux, all the Webflux features that you're used to using, plus gRPC services.
I've been hewing entirely to the servlet Tomcat world and not really played with this. And it didn't occur to me that you don't have that. So in the Tomcat world, I can already mount the endpoint,
bindable services
to my servlet container, so they can be on the same port if I want. In fact, they are by default unless I
specify. It essentially works the same way. So in that is a feature of the gRPC Java libraries. They have a servlet which does this. Basically it creates a little server inside and registers the services and then handles the transport, and it's not very complicated code. It's easier than I thought it would be once I've seen it, if you know what I mean. But it took me a few goes, like I said, so I'm not putting it in the Spring gRPC yet. I'm gonna sit on it and get some smarter people to look at it.
Hey, everybody, hear that? Try it out. Wow.
Yeah. So that's number one. I've got 4 demos if we've got time.
Speed run.
What's the next one that we should show? The next thing I'll show is another Webflux app. Okay. So this one, close those down. Another Webflux app. So there's another app running in Webflux, right? But this one, the service is actually a REST controller. It's not a bindable service. All right. So I don't know if I like this, but I'll show you how it does actually work. So this one has an implementation of the same service that I had before, hello.proto. which I've still got there in the source code, but I'm not actually using it as it. Oh, actually, I am using it. You know, I'm using it only because I want the message types. Look, so that these classes here in the request response are the ones that were generated by the Maven plugin, but I'm not using the service base class. I'm just using the message types. So hello proto could be simpler, I guess. I don't have to publish the contract, but anyway, so this works because gRPC, like I said, it's just HTTP2, and you do a post to a well-known location to do with the name of your service and your method, and you use a content type of application gRPC, and then basically it's just an exchange. This is a unary,
right?
One request leads to one response, and in Webflux that's very simple to express.
Sure.
And this one is a stream where it's a single request leading to a streaming response.
Also very simple in Webflux.
Also very simple in Webflux, and you could also do a streaming request to a streaming response just by putting a flux in there.
Do we have the usual? Do we have the usual HTTP message converter?
Yeah,
stuff?
so that's the way it works, and then again, I don't have the. So ignore that. We don't. Well, we can look at that later if we want, but this is the configuration that makes that work. Basically, it's a decoder and an encoder.
So
for the binary data.
If I had a map of string to object instead of an HTTP request and a response, could I?
That won't work yet, because the way that it's a bit like, you know how Spring Web and Spring Webflux already have support for protobufs.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know how many people use that feature, but if you want to, you can use Google protobufs to serialize and deserialize your REST controllers already.
Right. Your payloads.
And all you have to do is put the gRPC libraries on, not gRPC, sorry, protobuf libraries on your class path, and Spring, actually it doesn't detect them. There's no auto configuration for it, but it's all you have to do is you register a codec, basically. It's the same as this.
That's amazing.
And gRPC is very similar to that. It's not quite the same, but it's very similar. It's HTTP2 and it's protobuf encoding and decoding. So all you need to do is have a suitable decoder and encoder, and so I've written one of those each, basically. And I talked to Russin about it, and he thinks we can make the implementation of these very simple with just a few tweaks in Spring Framework. So he's willing to do that for Spring 7. So this I can see possibly being a feature of Spring gRPC if people like it. I don't know if I like it. So do you want me just to show that it works, or do you believe it?
What I also love is the idea that this. Do you remember my favorite remoting technology was the HTTP invoker?
Right. With the cause of so many CVEs.
Because of Java. Yeah, like, but the idea of like ferrying or muling a highly efficient protocol over HTTP was sound, you know.
It's not too dissimilar to that, and I do still have the proto definitions, so I can give those to my clients if I want to. But the thing that I don't like about this, I guess I might as well explain, is that the protobuf definition has a declaration for the service,
right?
But there's nobody checking that that's actually implemented by my REST controller, is there?
Oh, I thought, okay.
So, I mean, I can publish this, and on good faith, people might believe me, but it won't necessarily always match. I might screw up and, get the signature wrong.
Is this where Spring Cloud Contract comes into play?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, this is a contract, and so somebody can come and beat me over the head with it if I don't if I do screw it up. But
right.
there's no automation for that just yet, because I'm ignoring the code that is generated for the service.
Couldn't we write a CDCT, consumer-driven contract test?
Yeah, you could write something like that. I'm sure there are workarounds. So if people like it, then I'll take this a bit further. But it really is just it's just a decoder and an encoder. There isn't very much else to it.
Well, I like
and those are themselves, at the minute, they're sort of copied from the protobuf support in Spring Framework. But with Rosson's help, I can get them down to like 2 or 3 lines each. There won't be very much code in them.
Yes.
Teamwork makes the dream work. It's the same thing. It's just the only difference really is the media type's different, and there are some protocol headers and things like that, things that have to happen in gRPC that don't if all you're doing is protobuf serialization in a normal REST controller. So let's move on, because you believe that works, right? It's a post mapping with the name of the gRPC service, and it's just normal Webflux, normal
very
REST
straightforward.
Controller. Okay. So the third thing is exactly the same, but it's
servlet.
It's servlets, yeah. So for this one, this post mapping looks identical. And this one is a little bit different, and that's something again that Rosson said he can help with. So for some reason, I needed to emit a response entity on this one.
What is? I thought that I know about their SSE emitter. Is that different from?
Yeah. So that's what we have to fix in the framework. Me and Rosson have been talking about it. So the SSE emitter obviously is specialized for SSEs, and this isn't an SSE stream. It's a protobuf stream with delimiters for gRPC, and it's easy to see how that could be supported in Spring. It just the relevant entry points, the extension points are not there, so we can do that quite easily.
Cool.
So we don't need this response entity, and the only thing I need in this application really is a message converter. So that's like the equivalent of the encoder decoder.
Right.
I've also got a thing that will handle exceptions. So if you blow chunks in your REST controller, you want the gRPC status to be set on the outgoing.
And this also gives me the exception handler integration, or no? What is it?
With Spring gRPC, I haven't done that, but that's trivial. Yeah, you could just plug that in here. And then this is a Tomcat thing.
Oh,
I think we might just add that to Spring gRPC as an auto configuration, because Tomcat doesn't like something about serving. I can't remember what it is exactly, but the streaming case doesn't work. It kind of it gets really impatient, Tomcat, and starts sending errors, even though all you're doing is waiting for the stream to come.
Right.
So it's not a timeout, it's something else. It's an overhead window update threshold.
Right. No, that explains it.
Our friend Mark Thomas taught me how to do this. I don't have to understand it. I just have to cut and paste it. So that's the MVC version of the Webflux one. It's equally simple and has the same pitfalls. Basically, it has a proto file, but you can't guarantee the connection between a contract. Okay, and the fourth thing I want to show. So there's before I show that, there is here a library which has got those features in it, right? So there's a Webflux and a WebMVC bit of it, and there's also this thing called Reflect, which is the most Frankenstein's monster thing that I'm going to show today. So that's why I saved it for last. And that's in the app called App in this sample. And for this one, you don't have a proto file even. Yes. And that's so I've gone a little bit further than I needed to with this. So for this one, my gRPC server it's not a REST controller anymore. It's an @gRPC controller. So this says,
is what I was looking for.
Yeah. So I don't know if I want to encourage this.
Please do.
But it works. Okay,
yes.
It works. So this says I'm making a gRPC service called simple, and each of the methods which are in that service will be mapped like an @request mapping. It's the @gRPC mapping. And for this, I'm just using this was your request, basically. I want to use POJOs. I don't want to do code generation. So my server is hello. So to hello, it's just a reflection, but you can have any types basically as a request and response.
This is the one I want. This is right here. Now,
yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I have my reservations, right? Because one of the main reasons that people use gRPC is because of the contract, right? The proto files are important.
What if I had, because with GraphQL, it'll tell you.
Yeah, you can generate them. Well, I mean, that's the way out, right? So that's what I'll do next. If I get time to finish this, I'll generate some proto files from this, and then, you can always serve them. I don't know. I still have mixed feelings about it, because that's not what you're supposed to do with proto files.
I know, but
it's the other way around.
Right.
However, I've got something else to show you which you will like, and which I always like.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
With GraphQL, with GraphQL, it'll show you when you start up the program where your controllers do not line up with the schema. So you can get validation that you've diverged from the contract. So if we could have that, where this is like, I could write my code like this, but it would bark.
That's a reasonable idea. Yeah. Open an issue on GitHub. We might get to it.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a reasonable idea. The other thing, though, which I feel a bit less fussy about, is this thing. So @gRPC import gRPC clients is part of the Spring gRPC feature set, right? So that's there already. But for this one, I've got the new feature is a new stub factory. So the stub factory says I want a dynamic stub factory. And the way Spring gRPC already works is I just have to create a bean of that type, and it will get picked up at runtime. And then I can do this. I can define my gRPC client in an interface.
That's based on the declarative interface stuff that Ross and
declarative interface. And I'm a bit more relaxed about this because I don't see the need for a proto file in this case. And it's nice for your demo, right? Because you can write your gRPC service, and then you don't have to file it out. You can use somebody else's gRPC service, and you can just create your client on the fly and call its methods. So this is it's a bit like the hello service simple service that we were looking at. It's called foo though, and you do echo, and then that I can just, because it's in the @import gRPC clients, I can just auto wire it.
Oh, that's so good. This is several different things coming together. I sure hope this all of it is amazing. All of it. Everything there is great. I didn't realize there was a asymmetry between the mounting gRPC in the web container story versus, between servlets and Webflex. Glad to see that's leveled off. And then,
well, potentially, I'm not.
I like it. Get those changes in framework going. Obviously, the last two are that's what I want. That's everything for me. That's huge. That's because gRPC right now, it just doesn't. You've made it feel like it integrates with the rest of Spring. It's great because it has security and observability, and it has actuators and all that kind of stuff. But I still don't love code generation, and
it's going to stick in a lot of people's throats. But on the other hand, a lot of people already use gRPC, so they're used to the whole.
But imagine how many more would if they could do this. And imagine now we could take these two abominations together you could do this, and then I could create a gRPC controller in a JBang script.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you really want to get weird.
Oh yeah, one file services. Let's go. We're gonna make this. We're gonna make JavaScripts big, huge. Oh, so cool.
All right.
This is so cool. This is not in a, this is just in a branch, I guess, huh? We're like,
this is in a not private, but it's one of my
like
remote.
How would people try it?
They would have to use this. So it's Scratches is it's
Right.
shown its face again. So that's where I put the code that I intend to throw away. It's a GitHub org. So gRPC reflect in Scratches and GitHub. So if anybody wants to try it out, that's where it is.
Is that everything you just showed us?
That's everything I just showed you. Yeah. The library and 4 sample apps. Each of those I just showed you.
You've outdone yourself. I don't know. Do you get sleep? You should. It's incredible. I can't believe this is. I didn't think this was possible because nobody else has done it, right? Like it's. I mean, how many different projects?
It's definitely possible because like I said, the Google guys publish all the framework that you need for this. And that's why, for instance, Spring could already support protobufs, right?
Sure.
So the dynamic messages, kind of a thing in protobufs. People don't use them much, right? Because they always use the code generation, but it's there if you kind of need it.
Yeah, this is guilt-free. This gives me the best of both worlds. I get dynamic controllers and component model, POJOs, which is what we talk about in Spring a lot, and I get the super efficient serialization. And with a little bit of validation, I can make sure that they're on the same page too.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't even know what to ask. There's nothing. This is everything. This is all so cool.
It's not finished.
Well,
there are lots of wrinkles here, but it's an interesting experiment, I would say.
I mean, I'm
going to stop the share. I probably need to go and get breakfast.
I thank you for hanging out, everybody, and to you, Dr. Syer. Appreciate you. That is so cool. Everybody, pay attention to Spring gRPC. It's now it's on its way to GA 1.0 at some point. Like you said, maybe November, right?
Yeah, for some definition of GA, it already is, right? I mean, it is generally available, but we're not guaranteeing it's stable until 1.0. I think it will. I think it is, frankly, but I did just remove an interface in 0.9. So I mean, there are some footfalls possibly.
You know how fragile I am, and I've been using this in my demos for the last 6 months, and
you haven't had any problems, no.
Right. Yeah. I bark at the slightest inconvenience, so that's fine. Hey, thank you. Have a good day. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, you too. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. That was so cool.